Welcome back, everyone, as Loud manages to take down MIBR in Map 1 on split 13-5 in commanding fashion to close things out there. Of course, Golden Boy alongside with Brent and Mimi as we look to break down everything that we just saw there. And let's just dive right into it because I think, it goes without saying that one thing for certain that we were excited about going into this matchup was seeing this Loud team play, take to the stage, and show us what they're capable of. And boy, oh boy, did they show us.
Yeah, manifested, I think, with the Gecko pick as well. There were so many interesting things with the Gecko pick, in particular as well. I mean, just across the board, the sixth member of Loud that just came out and was revealed, which was Wingman and Little Bro himself. But first, the MVP breakdown, which we're talking about, because the Loud dominance really just, again, showcasing itself, rearing its head the 13-5. This team has not lost to a Brazilian team in their regionals as well, undefeated against the Brazilian teams, and so far on track to keep that record going.
Yeah, and for me, I saw some of the same issues I think that we've seen from MIBR at Lock-In, in that on their attacking side, they had this game plan, go for these big A set-piece executes, play our post plan, and I didn't think it was a bad idea. They were consistently able to get that space, but the post plans often fell apart, and as we talked about at the halftime, Loud had perfect reactions throughout this matchup, which just really made it incredibly difficult for MIBR to ever be a step ahead and get many rounds there. It's just such great momentum for them.
Well, it's hard to have a step ahead, though, when you got, Loud that just constantly has an answer. And the biggest answer is Lil Bro. Lil Bro coming into the streets, dropping spikes down, dropping beats as well. Look at him. He's gonna...
4 times planted, 4 times winning the round. 100% win rate.
God.
Americas.
Yeah, Americas is just the best region.
True.
Gecko doesn't win like this anywhere else.
Look at him go.
Look at him go. Look at those little stubby legs. Love him. Yeah, I just want to be his friend.
Yeah.
I know he's too cool.
He doesn't know you like that.
He's too cool. He doesn't know me like that. It's completely fine. It's understandable. But that being said, though, one thing that I think was very interesting that Doug and Bala were pointing out about Gecko, just to be a little serious for a second here, was it was actually kind of cool to see the way that Sadak was playing it, where he was throwing Wingman out, letting him go, kind of like check space like in mail or something like that, and then can easily go and collect it right after that.
Yeah, it was really, I think they had good ideas of how to use this utility in a way you can get it back. You see this one here, where the Thrash clears out Heaven, and then Sadak turns it back around so he can recover it, and uses it a second time in this round. He sends out Little Bro, he sends out the Big Fish as well.
This is so cool.
This is the one thing that Sadak actually was doing really well on the attack side with the Gecko, and he was always comboing any sort of breakable utility with another piece, whether it's a Wingman and a Dizzy, or using a Trailblazer and a Dizzy, or something else, always making sure it was accompanied with an extra piece of utility so that the opponents didn't know what to shoot. Like, you break one piece, you have to let the other one hit you, you have to let the other one get value. And that's something that's been missing, I think, when I've been watching a lot of the Gecko play. It's just, it hasn't been as well thought as this before. But Sadak, I mean, whether it's just util spam or whatever you want to call it, listen, when Fade was released, you could kind of like attribute a lot of Fade play to just literally dumping out your utility. At the end of the day, it feels like Sadak has got a very good idea about how he should be playing this agent in particular, and it's worked out. Obviously, the Loud kind of like dominance playing a part because they weren't really tested.
He had freedom to do what he needed to do.
They weren't really tested. But I think this was probably one of the best showcases that we've seen of Gecko so far.
Here's the thing. I felt it was solid. I don't know if it's still using the agent to his full potential, because I felt like they were actually just playing very similar to their same style when they were running the double duelist comp on this map. It was dumping out that utility, having Osbots following up, just overwhelming their opponents. And that's not bad, but I don't think it's leveraging what people expected to be good about Gecko, which was recovering the utility, picking that back up, pulling it back into the frame multiple times with the Dizzy. This was more what you're saying about overwhelming, running teams down, which I thought they did play to that strength very well. And Loud has that ability to play the slower style, to get aggressive, and to pull out new comps like they did here.
Yeah, and I think that when you talk about Loud, you kind of have to acknowledge the fact that, like, most of the time, they're just going to deathball on people. So even when they come up with an interesting idea, they'll probably execute on it, but chances are they got guys that are just slaying out in the field. So there's, like, no real opportunity for... They'll get the coordination, they'll get the set plays, but this team is beautiful to watch. Like, I literally could watch them play Valorant all day long. They're very good at this video game. Now, here's the thing. Before we head to map 2, let's actually go ahead and see a pro at work, why don't we, with our Aim Lab shoot around, because we have Heat from MIBR, and Heat, tall task for this young man to have to, go up against, some tyrants in Loud, Mimi, but also in the role that he had to play there as well, really being the one that was like the tip of the spear for this team.
Yeah, there was a lot of expectations of if MIBR was going to have a chance at winning this match, it needed to be Heat stepping up. And I felt like he had a solid game in that first map of Split.
13-5.
But the thing is, again, it goes back to Loud's coordination was so incredible that they weren't giving him those same gaps, those same opportunities to go crazy with the op, to find that gap like Aspas was in the first half.
Yeah, and coordination and also just the layers that Loud has as a team, I think, because MIBR were getting read at every twist and turn with their attack side, I think, as well. There wasn't too much nuance to the play that was coming out from them, and so it does put so much emphasis on Heat, and Valorant is not a game anymore where you can just put all the resources and all the emphasis into your Jet player to try and carry the game.
Yeah.
It's not that basic, and it's not going to be that basic ever against a team like Loud. They're going to be able to shut you down, and that was really, I think, showcased as well just in that stat head-to-head between him and Aspas as individuals as well, because, listen, Aspas was getting away with murder as well, but he was getting great support from the rest of his team, getting away with a lot as well with the defense side offing.
Yeah, I think beyond just like what Aspas provides as being a really strong individual, it's also the style that he and Loud plays adds a lot of pressure. If you think about what MIBR is under right now, it's not only playing against a team that you know is the team to beat, that you've never been able to beat before in previous iterations of your roster, but also you have Aspas absolutely popping off. It's a super high pressure situation, and coming up with the right ideas, still playing to your best potential, is made even more difficult against this squad. And I think we did see some of that in that game. It wasn't a bad map from Heat. It's not like he was absolutely bottoming out. It's just that he was able to get those entries, but so often he was just instantly traded out by Loud.
Yeah, and even when you look at some of the stats that aren't listed here, right? Like, you know, Heat with 5 first deaths, right? 4 of those, I believe, were to Aspas. And then on top of which, you also had Aspas with 5 first kills, no first deaths. This man was efficient at the start of it.
Every single one of his first kills was against this guy.
Yeah, it was against. So really, when you put that in context, it's like, yeah, this 1v1 matchup actually is quite pivotal going into this next map, and a lot of pressure is going to be applied to Heat and to the rest of this MIBR team, because now they're going to be going to their pick of Lotus. But this is where things are going to get quite fascinating here, because what are we going to see?
Wow.
Because I mean, honestly, when I think about Loud, they have a great Lotus as well.
Yeah, here's the thing. MIBR, they need to have done their homework on this. I'm sure they have if they've decided to go into Lotus as a direction. But Loud are a very, very good team at this map. They have a ton of good looks on it, and they didn't showcase it. Maybe, you know, it was a, I'm not going to say a dominant map for them, but it was a map that they had a lot of success with at lock-in.
It was a 13-8 against
And so
Fnatic.
I have to see something new from MIBR. I have to see either counter-stratting, or I have to see something interesting where they're actually taking it to a team like Loud, which you know is going to be outskilling you in terms of their coordination. They're going to be trading you out. They're going to be able to have so many more layers over you as a team, and it's going to come down to, listen, pulling out maybe some cheese, a bit of a hard counter-stratting, I think, is what I really want to see.
Yeah, for the side of MIBR here, it is going to be interesting what composition they go towards, because I think this map has had the most variety of comps. Loud was running the double controller Sky comp that they love on a lot of different maps. Some teams are going for like a Fade Raze look. Some teams are testing out the Sage, some testing out the Neon. There's a lot of different ideas MIBR can head towards, which I think gives them some flexibility, as you know what Loud is likely to play.
Oh yeah, and here is the agent select. No shocker there that you're going to see Aspas locking up with the Jet. JZZ going to pick up the Sky for his own on the side of MIBR. But yeah, I mean, you know, I don't think you're going to see like that much, you know, like wrenches thrown into the system here.
Yeah,
you know?
I don't think so. So he's going to be playing the Raze as well, which is quite an interesting one. Maybe just trying to opt into a lot of that really powerful util to try and control some of the, you know, extremities like A main, C main, whatever you want to call it.
Oh,
And
they go for the Gecko
so
again.
I was wondering if he was going to be doing this, pulling this out, because I really like their Lotus comp prior, but a lot of teams have been trying to play Gecko on Lotus. It makes sense in theory. Like, a lot of his kit works really well to get those plants down.
I think they might still play the double controller comp, just with the variation of the Gecko here. Do you go Viper into the Harbor?
I think so.
They pick the Viper. I think that's likely going to be the composition here. So not only do you have the strength they already have of the Sky being able to flash through these walls and set up their Jet player, and the 2 controllers to be able to shut down, you also have the Cove, if they do pick that Harbor, to help support this Gecko. What is it? There it is.
Yeah.
Double controller Sky Jet, now with this Gecko variation. This might throw off the prep a little bit for the side of MIBR.
It might, but I think MIBR do have the tools necessary. Look at this Killjoy nades, the Viper mollies, on top of that, the Raze nades as well. They have a lot to deny plants, and I think that's going to be really important heading into Lotus.
Also, with this Gecko pick, this is a fantastic agent against Killjoy. In this patch, he has the only piece of utility that can, like, one-shot that ultimate still. So if there's good lineups here, this Gecko could be even more impactful.
Yeah, this is going to be incredible. I'm curious to see, right, the old ideas versus the new ideas. Let's see how this all pans out and head into map 2. Send it back over to Doug and Balla for the cast.
Thank you so much, Golden Boy. Yeah, map 1 was a stomp. Right, all loud the entire way, but perhaps there's a little something extra that we'll see on Lotus out of MIBR. The comp is going to be difficult to deal with, though, out of loud.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to consider. I think one thing that we've seen so far, the comp switch on split was one agent change, right? It was Raze for Gecko, and that made a lot of sense. Here, though, I think the comp switch is one agent again, but it's KJ for Gecko. And that is not the same sort of thing that it's not a one-for-one swap up, right? You're missing a whole anchor. And while Loud did win their map against Fnatic on Lotus in the grand final, the only map that we saw out of Loud on this map, it wasn't necessarily super clean. You saw a lot of ideas there and a lot of challenges. So let's go ahead and see what we got on the pistol round. MIBR still has not won one.
Already hearing some of that Gecko tech utility being used.
They've cross-teed out, and they tried to trap him, but look at the Cascade falling back. That nade is not actually placed on anybody. Finally, a molly going in.
You gotta be
They
careful
should be able to
here.
rotate off.
Yeah, but Aspas is stuck. Right, there are actually two members. Kawanzin is over there as well, and they've lost mount control here. Are they gonna be able to get out?
Look at that idea from Tui's. There almost was a perfect Cascade to get them out, but they don't take it because Tui's calls.
Kawanzin falls first. Cover going out. There's still one member stuck over there.
Look at Sadak. He's rotated all the way to the other side of the map with Les, who's been trying to lurk up. But here, there's so much KJ util to deal with.
That's one piece less to have to worry about. As Les creeping forward. They should be able to get the spike down. Wingman getting another. I mean, we're really all just Wingman fans here. Let's be honest. Now it gets to the hard part, though. Can Loud keep MIBR back? Given the numbers advantage that the defensive side has, the utility that they have to work with, too. It's going to be difficult, but keep a close eye on Aspas. Rotating across the middle of the map. There is nothing to catch this. The alarm bot is not planted for this. Aspas is going to find a free kill, isn't he?
They're playing the spam here, too. Oh, my goodness.
It's so free. Oh, it's so free!
The defuse, though!
I think that jinxed them, and he's going to stick it the whole way! You called it at the beginning. MIBR hadn't won a pistol. There's one for him.
Yeah. Very important to start off that way. And that was a great round from them. I mean, the trap that they had on C Long was really, really nice. And I think immediately you saw Loud use their wall towards that side. You normally don't see that. You see the default Viper wall being much, much more focused on A. And so with that information, they go for the flash through waterfall. They go for the player all the way down through the box with heat. The nades, the snake bites come in to make it and waste so much time for Loud.
Early flash. I mean, look at that Viper wall. Adam Muri's, it's so deep.
He throws that one from the back of sight. Interesting that we actually haven't seen that.
Yeah.
But it also denies one side of the map. Normally you want the Viper wall that can cover two spots, two chokes.
It's interesting here, too, to consider their utilization of that wall, given how they played around Mound in the previous round.
And also think about this, though. Like, one flash, and all of a sudden you clear Mound. That wall is useless for the rest of the round.
For sure.
You want to get as much value over time throughout the entire 1 minute and 40 seconds that you get. And at this point, they don't have any more value out of it.
Yeah, you're right. They've cleared the wall. And yeah, they gathered some info with a flash over the top out of JCZ, but we'll see what that Harbor utility can do. It's sectioned off a section of the site. Door tap. Do they take the bait?
They did get a smoke out of RGL, so considering it, but also considering the factor that they could fall back towards A.
Perfect positioning out of JZZ at a spot where the flash will not hit him, and the 1-2 punch of JZZ and Muri's are just too much.
He went for the clip, too, with the 2 bullets.
Toxins going up.
Yo, guys, chill. Let him get it.
13 seconds left.
10 seconds left.
Les finding one. Poor guy's just trying to get the spike down, man.
I know.
Oh, can he get any other guns out of their hands? No.
Clean. Clean. And I mentioned a lot about that wall and how you're trying to find value out of it. But also, it's just the anti-eco, so not the biggest of deals. You could go for a little bit more gimmicky stuff, and ones that could end up just you getting instant control of an entire section of the map from range, too. So let's see if he swaps it up. He should at this point. Most common one that you're seeing is the one that covers both the B walkouts from Waterfall and Heaven and a little bit towards A. This one's just covering B and allows them to actually cross, use it kind of like a harbor wall. And there's the first Dizzy straight up from Sadak that we've seen the entire time. I think on this map you have a lot more opportunities to do that. With that 4K that Mira's just got, he's got his Viper Spit too, so very difficult to get in that C side.
And if they try to go B, you're going to have to get through all of the Killjoy utility that's set up.
My only piece, please Sadak, do not send Wingman to die in these mollies.
Does he have that in him?
Popped one of them, so actually Wingman could get through. They did not like what they saw there with that Trailblazer though, not at all.
Note here, Sadak 1 point away from having Thrash to work with as well. There's that forward
He's
wall.
gonna farm. He's gonna get this orb and use the Thrash. That's exactly his plan.
You did good.
Second utilization of Dizzy in this round, and perhaps more to come. Thrash should be online here. Has to pause for just a moment. He wasn't able to bring it back. Wasn't able to boomerang the.
Oh, what a good.
Oh, but he's flashed. He's gooped. He can't see a thing.
Amazing.
And Wingman finds success again.
Jeez. These guys hit so hard.
Last player standing.
And there's just not much out of MIBR this round. And note, again, this was their bonus, so.
And he made noise now. He's stuck here. That is a huge win for Loud. Remember, they pivoted so much, and also such a good idea from Sadak there, recognizing, I think he got all 3 orbs there. I think he might have gotten all 3 orbs.
Yeah, I think you're right. I was surprised that he was as close as he was to having Thrash.
I have to give props as well to Tuiz there. That cascade that came through and blocked the vision from the tree player, blocked the vision from the Dizzy. He does not know where he's gonna have to pre-aim to fight that. And then also, when the cascade gets through him, he has players to deal with, so he's instant gooped.
Oh, there's that deep Viper wall again. I mean, MIBR seemed very intent on fighting Mound, but RGL, great position. The flash tree swings around for another double, triple, dips his way through, and he gets them all. Hotspot's finally able to trade it back, but you've got heat you're gonna have to deal with. Clean round from MIBR.
And look at the flank coming too.
And that's off of them taking early space in Mound to go back to the first round.
Yep. Yeah, you pointed out the wall immediately. That TP from RGL, very aggressive, but is one of the key things that you have to pay attention to on Lotus. Nade, TP, one-way being thrown, flash as well. Such a good angle.
Yeah, the thing too about that though, Ball, if I may play devil's advocate for a little bit here, is against a team like Loud, you're not going to catch them with something like that again. Right? Like, there's no way you're not expecting the Omen TP into that spot.
Sure, but I'm surprised they even... Oh, hold on. Big engagement here at Mound. Again, Aspas just going forward with the knives in the space that cascade gives. Clears out everything.
But it's just not nearly as intentional as MIBR had done previously. There was just one there this time.
Wingman's going.
Oh, he's by himself! No! And the crowd is pissed. And I am too.
They got revenge. And don't worry, Wingman will rise again.
Second time's a charm. He's able to pick up the orb. Yeah, he's just gonna do it himself this time. Either way,
Spike planted.
MIBR with 2.
That cove is super interesting that they threw it on the ground, and he can actually uncrouch and peek.
Right there. Dizzy's up top.
Oh, that's
spot.
very aggressive.
Oh, but it didn't spot the one on the other side. He's in such a good place for it.
Oh,
RGL? He's gotten 2.
he knows the flank.
No way. He's gotten it down to a 1v1. Tuiz is so healthy, though. There's not a ton of time here either.
And well played by Tuiz. He just stands in the open.
Yeah.
Knowing he's pressured by time, knowing that he's going to actually not use proper crosshair placement all the way through. He's trying to get to the spike fast so he can, in turn, pressure him with his time. Well done. Explosive start here from both sides. I think RGL has stepped up quite a lot. Don't replay that. Don't replay that.
I mean, RGL almost put together a filthy clip, though.
That's 2 in a row for him, too.
Yeah.
Talk about feeling himself. We're into the round. They have already gone deep here. Hit all the way up. He's got the judge.
Oh, yeah! Monster on the loose!
Shark on the other side. They're hitting B, though. Already the high tide to cover both sides. We have one player close. They spotted him. Detained. And traded.
Les waiting for the flank to come around, and this time they've got security detail for him. Meanwhile, the showstopper used on the other side. Les falls. Spike planted as he finds comfort in the confines of the cove.
Bomb buddy out.
How do they choose to go about this one?
That was interesting, too. They actually read the fact that they were going to re-clear him all the way back up that B lane.
Note here, the panel's already cleared out, so MIBR should be able to find some space here, but oh my goodness, that harbor utility is gorgeous. Understanding where the point of weakness could have been, and they're just ahead of it.
Talk about oppressive, man. You think of a Viper who gets their wall and their orb in the same spot and how annoying it is to wait that out, and then the mollies too. You have that twice with the Harbor too. 2 cascades and a high tide. There's no chance if you're all coming from the same spot that you're gonna be able to break through.
I want to keep a close eye on this too, because as we continue to talk about mound control, we saw this Viper wall that you see on your minimap right now in the previous round with a cascade on the left side. And they never went that way. So you're starting to see some of these mind games, a little bit of conditioning that Loud are trying to threaten around, hey, we're going to fight for this space. This isn't free for you as it was before.
Well, remember the round just prior, they did the exact same thing. And Aspas went with knives over top. And we're gonna see the exact same thing once again. That flash gets caught on the wall, but he's way ahead of it.
He finds one, but Loud just punched back, man.
It's important that battle he escapes. Aspas is going for him though.
RGL, who's been very good, and he had some heroic moments on Split.
He's just cleared so much information, by the way. With his wall, FRZ on the other side knows that Aspas did not get in with that dash early. Reckoning coming in, so much. Dizzy on top.
All right, this is just chaos on an already tight site.
Wingman play.
In the cove.
Welcome to
What are we up to at this point?
That's 6.
Now the pit, too. You mentioned it earlier, Ball. It's just oppression, man. It's so oppressive. It's so suffocating.
Frustrating to play against.
How do you find a way in? If MIBR are going to make a run at this, they're going to have to do it very soon. They're going to have to pull the trigger. You see Miri's on the other side of the wall. Now taps it. They try pouncing, and Aspas is ready. Aspas gets 3, and he's hunting for the 4th. Sui's potentially. Oh my gosh! Yeah, he's still nasty.
What a fun game. So far in Lotus too. You're seeing the tactics go up against each other. And it is super interesting. RGL there TPing off, buying a lot of time. Loud could have hit him. Aspas wanted to. This push up the left side of Mound for the defense. Incredibly smart, given the way that they're actually approaching that. The Cascade is a double-edged sword sometimes when you go for it. Because it also blocks the path that the defense can take. So they can get in unexpected positions as well.
It's just so much utility invested, man. So early in the round, too.
Oh, wow. That Dizzy is actually kind of short. They could definitely be on the backside of Rebel with that.
I think it was intended to clear out the teleport from a couple of rounds ago.
Yes, absolutely.
Luck and Kalen's fine. The Trailblazer's going to spot one up in heaven. Once again, Wingman looking for another. No cope this time.
Get it down. 5v5 retake with very, very minimal weaponry on the side of MIBR.
They do have some key ultimates, though. That could be the difference maker. Keep a close eye on the flank coming in from panel 2. You've got 2s waiting on the other side as it now breaks. Just when you think you get through one, there's another wall there. This one made of water. 2E's repositioning. He hasn't given up an inch. He has not cleared the space that he's trying to hold. Meanwhile, Aspas on the side falls. They overwhelm 2E's. Now the Mosh buys some space out with the spam through the smoke. It's free. It's a gift. JZZ.
Vulnerable.
Yeah. He didn't. He wouldn't have had very much time anyway.
Oh, Lutz could have gotten away there. My man is definitely fist bumping on stage. Forgot to run from the spike.
JZZ and FRZ still have those ults that we were just referring to. They still have the Seekers. They still have the lockdown.
Yeah.
And for this one to stay competitive, Loud have won the last 4. You feel the possibility of this one getting out of hand.
Sure. You got to find ways to find that lockdown value, though. And I think immediately, if I'm Loud, one of the ways that you can nullify that and cancel it is go back towards that C side. There's so much that you can put down to break it. The Des was mentioning how Gecko's Mosh can one-tap it in this current patch that they're playing on.
Won't be the case for long, but you're right, still in play here. Timeout called. So you see Loud still looking, I mean, pretty comfortable. Back, having a good time.
Aspas is the definition of comfortable when he's in these timeouts. I guess Fraud's voice just puts him...
It's just soothing.
Just leans him back. Look at him. I wish I could be that chill in the middle of a competitive match. It's iconic with him at this point.
You know, out of this time out here, it'd be interesting to see what MIBR do to adjust. Again, the last 4 rounds going in favor of Loud. This had gone tit for tat for a little bit here. It seemed like it was going to be competitive. It seemed like MIBR had some different things prepared.
Yeah.
But it's recently, as you see on the timeline, it's been all Loud.
Aspas with knives and a shorty. Does he clear some space? They're going fast in towards this B side. And that scares me a little bit. If they do choose to actually hit towards B, but it's going to be a pivot. Fast back towards C, because that lockdown on towards B is really difficult to actually break in Waterfall. Because you have to push into Waterfall to break it.
They're sending him out there by himself. It's actually Utility who's being able to provide so much of the cover, and Aspas follows. He falls as he spots so many more on the other side. Wingman once again finding success.
Okay. Now MIBR rotates all out. They actually leave FRZ alone to ult in Waterfall. He's not going to, because of how dangerous that would be. He's going to use it in Spawn instead. That's what I was talking about. You have to pivot it out of Waterfall because of how easy it is to mosh pit from inside the site. But Loud's already off. They don't want to actually even try to break it. Just a lot of utility.
They're so comfortable playing from this area.
All pushing here.
Lockdown now cleared. Utility still littering. As RGL does it again.
What's another death?
That's
Should
so
have
close.
it too, yeah. Close, but again, success. And I want to go back to what we were talking about earlier, because RGL has been a bright spot.
Oh, he's a monster right now. On Omen as well. 10 and 7. I just love the call here from Murin, the IGL of MIBR, to push this, knowing that, okay, if they're not fighting for the lockdown, they must be playing all their utility that they have.
Yeah.
Which is Les's double mollies, which is Sadak's Mosh. There's not much more than that, though.
Dude, I love that RGL still took the time to spray the ground and then go for the reviews. Again, you see the value of the wall from Harbor. You see the spam coming through. Spike landed once more. She's trying to satchel away, and JZZ swings around at just the right time to bail him out.
Great movement. This might be the first time we've seen Loud eco outside of when they've lost the pistol early in this game.
Really cool cascade. I mean, look at it, just sectioning off all the entry points into B.
Great flash.
But how much will it find? No, all of it. It's less in this 1v5, and it's not happening.
That one's huge. We're approaching the tail end of this first half, and we're still tied up here on Lotus. And this is not a map where I can super speculate about what sidedness it is, because we're playing so many different comps on this map. There's so much variability in what teams are bringing to the table. And we still get even something newer in this case. Sadek, though, is struggling a lot more than he was on Split. This utility is much harder. You see he's not comboing the same way that he was with the Wingman and the Dizzy to actually find value.
It's so much more exploratory.
Yeah. It's kind of falling in the same pitfall that if you've watched the EMEA games that Na'Vi fell into on this map, where they're using it a lot for that plan. Oh, he's in the... Oh, my goodness. He heard that TP for sure, too.
Surely,
The
right?
orb is getting cheated. Oh, that's
Well
beautiful.
played.
They get the spike down even though Heat was on top of it. They might be able to pressure with the defuse early.
Yeah, there was an early tap.
I've got your trail.
Seekers used, Amir's is going to use the pit. Tui's doesn't have the Reckoning to counter here.
They barely have anything, honestly, and they can't get close to this and spam without getting hit by the decay. Oh, 1
Yeah,
HP.
but they also haven't even gotten on the tap. Miri's swinging forward. It's gotten to half. It's going to go all the way.
Oh, that is a brutal Viper's pit there.
That's also the second round in a row that we've seen Loud try to find success B, and they just can't weather the chaos.
Sure.
Round in the
I
half.
think that one is definitely more decisive given the pistols that Loud had in the last round. This one, a great idea. They even had the flank. I didn't see this kill from JZZ, getting the stun from the Trailblazer. Oh, Aspas getting a little bit of his own medicine there. He got tracked by an updraft just on audio alone by JZZ. Well done. And this is MIBR in the lead, heading into potentially a 2-round lead in the second half.
We see the same setup towards Mound. Also note, Tui's has his Reckoning, and he used it last time he had it. He used it to fight through C. Very well may end up in the same place. As walls of every kind section off this area of the map. Quiet here. Is Les making sure there's no one waiting on the other side of the rotating door. Note here, they have Les in such a unique spot, especially off of tapping that door twice.
Yeah. The taps really give a lot of misinformation about what's happening.
Rash is ready.
And they've been farming these for Sadak, but most of the time so far they've been getting broken. With 50 seconds left, I actually really like pivoting back over towards C late after the door info. So the flash just got used on B, even though they know that they were outside of B 1 round prior as well.
It's going to be explosive. The Reckoning used.
Detain broken.
And they're getting so much info, but can the Molly keep them back? Once again, Wingman falls. The rest of the members do as well. He trying to find something, but no, Les able to keep them back. Seeker should provide some more info here.
They're gonna swing fast behind them on water.
Hit landed too. FRZ's spot is gorgeous. JZZ is his too.
Spike down.
And let's win this 1v2.
10 seconds left.
Big flash, he has to actually find this plant.
Oh, he's got time.
He's gonna say, oh.
He's got time. He's
No
cool,
way.
calm, and collected. He's
No
able to
time.
get the kill, but he's not going to get the plan. He's not going to get the spike down.
Yep.
And that will be a round for MIBR.
A bit of a risk there for JZZ though to actually
Switching
leave.
sides.
Given that kill, might not have come in. And then if that was a 1v1 with the spike planted down, that would have been a pit for him to deal back with.
Great response from MIBR. We're going to throw it down to Smix, who's standing by with another interview at halftime.
Thank you very much, Doug and Bala. Sitting here with Tarek, of course, but with a new guest today. I'm here with Disguised Toast. It is amazing to see the owner of DSG in the house. Toast, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. I'm excited to be here.
You sound very excited as well. I'm noticing you're wearing a Loud jersey. Is that you repping for Loud for this match in particular or for the entire season?
For the entire season, I'm a big Loud fanboy.
All right, Tarek, I know you're over here repping Sentinels, but we saw how yesterday went when a friend of yours sat next to you and they were definitely rooting for another team. Your team came out on top. How do you think things will go out today?
Yeah, I was definitely sad for Nate Shaw. He was going through it, but you know, he's been doing this for a long time, so he's felt the pain of a loss before. Today, Loud's been playing great, to be honest. I think my curse is lifted. Toast, thank you for taking it away from me.
You seem like you disagree with that statement.
I disagree heavily. I think 90% of the time the team Tarek cheers for ends up losing.
You know, I will say this, as someone who's watched quite a bit of co-streams between you two, I have to stand by Toast on this one. I feel like there's like this weird trend going on where, and then you have to do the thing where you flip, you know, whether you cheer for them or you poop on them.
I know the jinx factor is like feels super real. I'm trying to act like it's not there, but every day I wake up, I realize that maybe I'm the problem, and you know, I tell myself, you know, it's not you, bro. You got this.
All right. Really quick question for you, Toast. Yesterday, I saw you make a tweet that got quite a bit of engagement. Can you confirm, was that an April Fool's joke, or can we look forward to something?
Well, we just happened. I mean, we made the tweet on April Fool's, and that's all I'm gonna say.
That's all he has to say. For now, thank you very much. We'll check in with you guys in a bit.
Well, that basically confirms it, right? I mean, that just guarantees it.
Nah, he's a master of deception.
He says so much without saying anything.
He's disguised for a reason. I'm so lost now. Anyways, let's get back into this game. MIBR is in the lead right now in the second map.
Yeah, but bro, Wingman. Can we talk about Wingman? 67% success rate. That's pretty good. Am I hearing that right?
Yes, you are. Crowd currently chanting, "Let's go, Wingman."
Which again reminds me, we need to start selling Wingman plushies.
Oh, for sure.
I don't know what we're waiting for.
Yeah, I'll get on it actually. If right, I'll start a little side hustle. You guys in?
Toxins going up.
I got you.
All right, cool. At least I got one sale.
MIBR on the attacking side to kick off this second half. And yeah, we've gone through about 40 seconds. They haven't really gotten very far.
Just pivoting all around the map.
Yeah.
Not collecting an orb, not really focused on that on this pistol. I want to find a site, and I think they've chosen correctly given the mini-map right now. Nobody on that side.
Yeah, but it's misdirection
Ooh,
again.
he just saw the turret get pulled back. But that is misdirection.
Fast, spotting heat. Once again, the duelist duel goes in favor of Cloud.
And remember, the Des was talking about how it's 3-0 for Aspas on split. But this is what I'm talking about, the misdirection. That turret gets pulled back. You really don't know exactly what. And Lotus rotated all the way more towards C. And it will be an A plant coming in.
They do eventually end there. Better late than never. JCC with the spike down. Number still in favor of Loud. And the Trailblazers' timing was just so crazy. It could have gotten so much info, but it gets nothing. Les finding one. JCC trying to drop them as they drop out of heaven. No, not able to do so. RGL overwhelmed as well. It's just too much. I love how Sanak is a man of the people, and he knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing.
You get a Wingman, you get a Gecko on your team, and you got home field advantage.
Right.
It's like they're back in Brazil.
Favorite, yeah. Huge kill out from Aspas, though. Again, finding that opening pick onto Heat. So much of the engage, so much of the go gone. Vlad with a gun advantage here. See, they were reconsidering how they wanted to approach this. Deep harbor wall, too. Not too different from what we saw at a Viper in the previous half.
Yeah, but this one is, refreshable, so they could always fall back after this. They're gonna jump through it. That is,
That was an idea. That was an idea.
That was one of the ideas of all time.
That was one of them. It's so tough though too, man, because as much as we say like, well, that didn't work out. You've got pistols, right? Like the only real play there is try to overwhelm.
Or just not do that.
Or just not go.
And go somewhere else. Given the amount of time they spent on the pistol, like the entire round, maybe take a little bit more patience. I don't know. I think for MIBR, you're thinking, okay, if they throw this wall, sometimes they're not going to be there.
Right.
So if we go for a jump through and they're not there, then we all of a sudden have a huge advantage.
Yeah.
Because that's how they were playing that Viper wall. Sometimes they were playing up on it, and sometimes they were playing way far back and just hoping that they don't push that wall. I think that is a good idea against lesser teams. not a team like Loud.
Oh, again, this is going to be explosive. A cacophonous chorus of utility through A, and there's goop all over the place too. Swing around from RGL, and MIBR has managed to walk away with the numbers advantage here. Less left alone on the opposite side of the map.
You talk about like the amount of utility that you need to take A there. For MIBR on that defensive side, you saw a nade, you saw a paranoia come through. For Loud, they really don't have much. They just have vision blockers, and maybe the Mosh coming as well from Sadak. But that's definitely not enough when you have two players who can not only dive past any of that utility, but also you have the counter utility from MIBR as well.
Two shoulder spotted. Les has to throw it in reverse. As MIBR, they continue to hang around. You expect there are instances in which we see, all right, Loud's going to pull away here, but
It's less poking. He's just trying to find any sort of kill. Thought he was considering a ninja. MIBR has been doing a really good job hanging on to this lead. The entire time, it has felt like they've been in control on Lotus. And this time, even losing the pistol, immediately responding with the anti-bonus win. There you go. That's what I'm talking about. The flash is just not enough to stop them. And then they get the vulnerable off as well.
And I think you make a really good point about the ability to get past the vision blockers. You saw it there from Heat. He was in a position just early enough to be able to get that pick.
Yeah, and I think MIBR, after that round, recognizing, okay, let's go for this even further.
They're going to do it again.
And on the other side of the map, they're doing that C high tide. That lasts a long time for them. They might push through with a flash, and that could give them huge advantage against FRZ alone on that side of the map.
Oh, this is interesting here. No ults for Loud, but they do have an op in the hands of Fastpass. He's playing across the middle of the map.
They're getting pinched in. Tuiz has gotten the kill on the flank.
Yeah, but Heat now has a showstopper to work with too. And instead of pushing in towards the site, he's going to take the scenic route.
Careful.
He's going to go aggressive, and you see the ping on the minimap. They know
Careful.
that is a weak spot. What's the go button? What's the trigger? They wait just on the other side of utility.
They've given far too much time for Loud to actually rotate off of this. They opted not to flank, but to go all the way back. That's a lot of time.
Oh, that's so big. The Trailblazer finds so much info now. Not only that, but also pushes Heat off of the crunch point. Scaling forward with Harbor utility, Sadak makes his way up just to his death.
This showstopper, though, is key.
He's been holding on to it up until now. Now he goes. Heat not spotting a single target.
Oh, the Seekers are going to pressure him, too. He's maybe not going to be able to use this.
Of course, as you say that, Kalanzine falls.
One more kill and an aid.
They've gotten the space, but they still aren't really able to get to the defuse. They've been able to push them off, but it's going to happen fast. That's so big. Heat with a massive kill. Can Aspas get away and keep the up?
No chance. He's dead to the spike no matter what. One around from MIBR. I thought the time was going to be an issue there, but they still hold on. The way he took the stairs, took the fight in the stairs. That's so much for Loud to actually have to work back through, even though they were rotating way too late there.
I mean, and for MIBR, I mean, you even think about Heat's ult and how he had to just sit on it for a good half of that time bar.
Yeah.
They played such a delicate dance on being pushed off of the site, but still having spam angle, still being able to navigate the utility before them. That just really felt like, while ultimately it did go MIBR's way, that was knife's edge the whole time.
You also take away the ability to be decisive, though, from Loud, right? They can't push in anymore.
Right.
Because of the showstopper being out, and that takes so much time away from the clock. You can tell, like, even after, they didn't really have a good idea of who was supposed to be jumping on the defuse because they wanted to have been in that position already. I think the choice to go for that C aggression definitely comes back to haunt them.
Timeout called from Loud, and I believe, correct me if I'm wrong here, I want to say that's the first one they've called all series.
Yeah, actually could be.
Yeah, they haven't
Split
really
was so
had
dominant.
to do this, yeah. Starting to feel some of the pressure on Lotus. Far from done, though. A 2-round lead for MIBR. And if this map is any indication of how things have gone, you'd think that Loud will be able to tie us back up again, but
Yeah.
we'll see a broken bye out for the defensive side.
They've been less momentum-based here. They're going to go for the same thing and running straight up here.
Once again, chaos. Everyone's here, except for the two flankers.
This is what I'm talking about. Just, oh, wait a second.
They're doing it this time around, but RGL's still in a really good spot. And again, the gun difference could be everything, but Cowanzine drops him.
And he's going to fall back to his other teammate, FRZ.
This is actually really big here. I know he's weak and he's by himself, but FRZ and JZZ are not much better off.
But look at the space that FRZ is taking. There's no way. Cowanzine has to slow down at some point, and it's going to be way after FRZ hears him.
5 HP. He's got a weapon. What can he do? They're so weak, but his knife is out. FRZ cutting him off before any sort of antics take place.
And I think you're comfortable to go for that because you know he's going to go for a gun. And you know the last position he was before JZZ actually runs away from that fight. So well done from FRZ, recognizing, okay, they went for full aggro on A. But that's the key for MIBR right there. In that specific fight, Loud has had no answers so far to it. Because they're either playing a very passive setup on A or pushing in with the, they just don't have the same tools that MIBR do. There we go. A high tide to kind of obscure exactly what's going on. I think it's a lot more clean of an approach rather than fighting straight up. This duel Aspas against RGL. Tight angle for RGL. Will Aspas go for more? It doesn't look like it.
Satisfied to sit patiently with the space that he's garnered. Meanwhile, it seems like MIBR are a bit indecisive on how they want to play this as well. He has taken a decent amount of space. Once again, a high tide in his face.
Split through the broken door. It looks like no, he wants to actually lurk. Mosh denies the actual hit, and you're right.
Blinded.
Indecisive indeed. He's behind that high tide. Oh my goodness.
No way.
He has found such a good timing.
Split second, and they have no idea.
30 seconds.
No, they're looking at
Actually,
him.
hang on, look at Sadak.
I've got
Galaxy
your
Brain
trail.
Sadak finds the kill onto Heat. Unreal. Cowanzine overwhelmed, but that's all right. What do they do here? They have so much space in B. Are they going to try to rotate back?
Ooh.
Yeah, they are, but with 13 seconds left.
Aspas smoked the turret too. And that
10
turret actually
seconds
probably
left.
is going to go down soon given FRZ's position. There's lurks all over the place right now.
Yeah, and I think that's part of the problem is I think you've overcooked this a bit too much. You've taken so much space that it's going to be really hard to keep track of where your weak spots are. And even that cascade suggests, the high tide, excuse me, Aspas is in a really good spot here, and you're not expecting that. That really felt like MIBR maybe like overthought this round.
Now, once Sadak is watching that flank coming in from Heat, and also once they try to commit towards that B side, it's tough to actually find the right space and time
Got it?
to go for those lurks. And then FRZ getting way deep in waterfall. I think you want to take that space no matter what. If they're giving it to you, you've got to. It's not even necessarily a risk, it's just a gift. But in this case, yeah, you're right. It definitely cost them. They're all split up way too much, overextended. Nice angle over top of what could be going thrown out. That orb to help them cross. MIBR giving up on that A presence. Not wanting to spend too much to get across.
MIBR have a choice here. They can choose to use utility to clear that high tide, or they just wait it out. Now as the wall goes down, they can use the Trailblazer, see if anyone has crept up behind it.
Here.
I'm pretty sure Muriz, that was from the opposite side of the map. That molly to challenge where Heat's crosshair currently is.
Interesting that it comes late too. They're considering where Aspas could be, and that is one of those angles. They've done a good job clearing up to Mound. Now they execute. It's an unconventional one, but why they want to come to the side is Muriz. He's got his Viper's Pit. If they get on the site and they get that down, the retake becomes exponentially harder.
FRZ was 1 point away from getting...
Ooh.
30 seconds.
They draw out the Reckoning, and then they're going to rotate away.
Blinded.
Cascade is coming in to help Kawanzin on this one. Tui is spraying through it. They're all low.
Welcome to my
The paranoia, the pit, and the utility, and yeah, they've slowly made their way forward, but once again, this feels labored.
spike planted.
Spike finally going down, and perhaps this is a moment in which they can find some comfort and find some rest and control. You hear the ult go through as a couple of kills get traded back and forth. MIBR still playing in their pit as Loud tries to find some space.
The stun on the pit. Oh, the Viper could have gone down there.
3v3 here, the remaining members of MIBR are weak.
Yeah, to use the lockdown though, that will solidify this round deep in Waterfall. No way you push back into the pit. He's gonna get detained. Oh!
Surely he doesn't have enough time to do this.
No,
right?
not even close.
Remaining.
He got a kill.
Switch is ready.
FRZ's literally just left.
What a chaotic round.
That was a great call. They got the Reckoning out and instantly pivoted.
And I wonder, I can't help but wonder if that was the plan from the beginning. Feign a hit onto C to draw that Reckoning out, because again, you think about that ult in C. C is already so tight and so uncomfortable to navigate around. The Reckoning just introduces chaos on that site. So perhaps it was intentional to draw it out and then we pull off, or if that was their like yellow light to, let's rethink this.
Yeah. I think it could have been both. I definitely think that's in MIBR's calling capacity for sure. I think in this case, they'll take either, right? They'll take either getting on a C if they don't ult, you got this site, or they'll pivot off if they spend an ult. No way you're gonna push into it though.
Go get him.
So you think actually the way that Loud played that, maybe if they delay that Reckoning slightly, all of a sudden you get them in the site and you're retaking at the same time.
It was a quick trigger finger on that one. Felt like it was almost instant.
Last has had really good ideas with his Viper's Pit. You remember the split round where he fell back into the spawn and used his pit from there for the retake. Looks like he's doing something very similar where he's jump spotting the throw molly and then falling back. So he can use a pit for the rest of his team to come into. But once again, MIBR is doing such a great job keeping Loud spread thin. Fainting with this door. High Tide just gets pulled off.
And the molly too, even.
There's the molly, hopefully. Oh, he gets stunned.
Eats through.
He's
and then
dead.
the paranoia
What?
too, but he still gets one. Either way, it was just too much out of MIBR. They overwhelm Loud, they overwhelm Sadak, and they push their way forward. Not satisfied with the space they've taken. They want more.
FRZ is dead. That turret not a factor. Aspas coming fast in the flank.
A 3v2 here. Heat has ult. Aspas has to find a perfect timing. And I think he's going to be able to get through this undetected. They're not looking at him. He's going to go unchecked. He's going to go unchecked. Now a 2v2. He's got it down to 1v1 and blades are in play. Aspas.
There's no flash.
No shot.
Half.
No shot.
Mistaken.
Not like this. Forget about the blades. Aspas just sticks the defuse. What a gutsy call.
RGL was so fearful of what Aspas could do through that smoke after he taps that he fell all the way back. And he doesn't even have the room to be jiggling at that point. They planted deep for it spawn. They knew they wanted to push early. That is just so unfortunate as well, the smoke too. Sadak's wondering, what was that? What is he doing? That could have just gotten Loud back into this map.
Definitely within striking distance, and now MIBR on a broken buy. They're all flashed up too. Aspas showing patience. And well, for good reason. If they're just going to walk into your crosshair like that, why not? Baited into swinging around, but it's actually Tui's who dies.
Look at that juggle. Okay, Kawazi gets the guns away from them.
Aspas in a really good spot. You have Les, who's going to be flanking around from A.
Bosch coming. Wingman 2. Good combo, Aspas.
3 for him. 4 for him. Go get it.
Crowd wants it.
He has 2 bullets, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, still only 2. Les takes it away, but Loud gets to 10 nonetheless. And this was a concern, Ball. You mentioned it. Off of that defuse, MIBR are broken. This could be their window, and they storm right through it.
Massive anti-eco. And I think this B main control from Loud is going to be a key against what MIBR, who is pivoting more towards favoring C side. If they control that B door, all of a sudden you don't have that pivot idea that we saw with the Reckoning landing early in the round. You have much more limited options when you commit down mound. Back towards A though, this is definitely what has been working for MIBR, why they are in the lead. But Loud have other ideas now. Look, 4 players put around this broken door.
But no early challenge, too. I think that's the key.
Walking through the wall, Flash is gonna come, oh!
And the Dizzy! Oh, but RGL still gets one. Psyduck training it back. There's a showstopper. It's Heat looking to take space, but there are so many walls, they can't see a dang thing. Gecko utility again, finding value.
Aspas left alone. See if MIBR can actually snuff this out. All the utility from Psyduck gone too, except for the Mosh. And look how concerned Tui's is about that A-Link flood into B. He already put down a cascade. Heat recognizes that, but he's also gonna start going and hunting for information of his own. They're walking that way.
Smoke's now coming out, the nades as well.
Loud doesn't hear this either. They're not committing to it.
No, they're still second guessing what they want to do. You got to be careful here if you're RGL. You're the one who has the spike. He's able to get one. Aspas waiting on the
25 seconds, it's Aspas.
He's got to be able to hold the line. No. 3 for RGL. The site open. What can Tui's do? With 18 seconds left, he finds Heat. Both remaining members are weak. Clean shots out of Muris to keep him in the round. Les has Pit. I mean, can he navigate this well?
He's gonna walk. What?
What a horse he is.
Oh my goodness.
Who would expect that? He's gonna Pit. Things equalize the Molly to buy some space, to buy some time. To challenge a bold swing out. Ult there. That's one big kill. He's seen him. He spotted him. He heard him. The spam's through. Nothing landing
He's going
yet.
for more.
There's just not enough time there either. Muris with a huge hold.
Match point.
I've never seen a more closer representation of a player playing Viper there. Exactly like a snake, just hunting straight through. Could have been a chance for Les in the 1v2. Tui's as well, almost fighting back. If he stays alive in that situation, you could think of a moment where Les gets that pit down and you have 2 players.
Yeah.
Snake bite to keep him back while the defuse pressures.
Which we almost saw. I mean, that's exactly how we played it. Once he got through the wall, put the pit down, Molly to keep things back. Loud once again calling a timeout as MIBR at map point. A winnable one that perhaps slips away. And MIBR, I mean, you got to give it to them, right? After getting slapped around on map 1 to show signs of life, to keep the series interesting. Takes grit.
Challenging the Kings of Brazil. And putting them to the test on the second map. The first one definitely was a stomp. But MIBR has the luxury of not experimenting here. We're Loud are doing just that.
Trying to position are Loud in here. They've got light armor on a couple of members, 2 ults in Psyduck and Tui's, but they don't have much for guns.
2 Stingers and the Sheriff is horrible economically. So they have to have cooked something up in that timeout.
The ults have to be the difference maker. They're gonna go into the strongest part of Loud's defense. 3 members close by.
Seek them out.
Is that their go button? Yes, it is. Heat satchels through. Aspas waiting on the other side, and Heat call with utility out.
Reckoning is actually pushing them back. The Shark!
Dude, Loud are doing this. Loud are doing this. Trying to navigate all the utility. And MIBR, at least for now, have been unsuccessful. What a round from Loud.
Talk about cooking. Talk about giving the coaches an opportunity to talk to their teams. Bazooka a chance to close out against his former teammates.
But I don't understand what gave Heat the confidence to think that there wasn't anything back there. To be caught there with utility out just seems like a huge mistake.
I think a lot of it is preempting the ults that were available there for Loud.
Oh, that's cold.
We might actually be talking about another map before we get to the next series, but this one is so close right now. MIBR have another chance. They're calling a timeout. Once again, giving Bazooka the opportunity to try to read against his former IGL, against Sadak, who he was with for so long in both 2020, actually 3 years, 2020, 2021, and the championship year for Loud in 2023.
Yeah, for this being a first-time dance between these two squads on the VCT Americas stage, there's a ton of history between the two of them. So many moments shared. Look at the buy for MIBR.
Talk about shoddy.
Aspas has a judge. He's going to have blades, too.
Deadly combination.
Plus 10, by the way. Very pedestrian out from Aspas. Same Viper wall we've seen a few times. The blades instantly used.
Remember what I was talking about this B main presence being so important. That's clearing all the way behind the box, so Aspas able to just dodge and not give up the fact of what weapon he has in his hands.
And you wouldn't necessarily expect this either, right?
Who are they giving that ult to?
That was FRZ, that orb.
FRZ, okay, lockdown is what they're trying to go for.
They're still far distance away. Even if they get the second, they still need to find a third.
Maybe he gets the plant and can use it in post-plant. Or 1 minute left, or he could go pivot and get the third. We've seen this already. Last half, we had Sadak go for all three.
They're putting all of the eggs in this lockdown basket.
But the position that they're going to be left in late in this is towards A. The lockdown, not the greatest here. You can't really find one that goes all the way up into drop, all the way up into heaven.
It's also worth mentioning, Loud haven't invested a lot of utility here. 2A's is still full. Aspas went for a lot there.
I like that idea, though. They recognize they're going for the ults. They get in the tree to use it. This is massive. Oh, is this spammable?
Oh. Maybe close, but not the case. They're going to wait on the other side of it. And they haven't, they're just now attempting to get the spike down.
High tide already coming through Cascade as well. They're pressuring really fast.
Huge kill out from Heat, but 2E's behind enemy lines. He's sneaking his way forward, and once again, he's in a spot where they may not check him. And he's gonna get two. No, only one. Kalantin and Sadak. Another insanely unlikely situation. Now Sadak left in this 1v3 against two pistols and a rifle, and no, not able to pull it off. MIBR take us to Haven.
Huge win. A very necessary one. If it continued to look like a stop for Loud after map 1, a lot of people would have been talking. MIBR was very, very conscious of the way that the lock-in loss to Talon made them look to their fans. Disappointed about not being able to show more, but here they just did. Here they just took down the runners-up at lock-in in one map. And we talk about an interesting series now because we go to Haven, you just mentioned it. Haven was Loud's permaban at lock-in. It was a map they didn't play throughout the entire tournament. It was a map that they avoided specifically.
I didn't mention that at all, but thank you for giving me the credit. I'll take it. I'll take the credit on that. But it does make for an interesting third map. And I would love to just be able to watch that last round again to kind of see what it was that Loud were trying to do, because much like we saw in the second to last round, it was gun advantage. right? Like, they should have been able to close that out, and it felt like they weren't able to execute. Either way, Haven just on the other side of this break. We're going the distance, and you're not going to want to miss it. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.